Hey gang, so let's talk about one of the negatives that I've started to, that's why I said I would give this real estate thing a year before I made any adjustments or discussed, all that crazy stuff. Because there are negatives. I mean, there are negatives to high school senior photography, but it makes so stinking much money that you put up. It's some heavy negatives, but you put up with those negatives and you deal with them. With the whole real estate thing, one thing I've started to notice now that I'm about 7 months, 8 months, 7 months. I think it's 7 months into this project. I've started to notice that more and more and more real estate agents are getting on board with this thing. Yesterday, I'll use yesterday as an example. I had 2 cancellations. Well, before the day was over with, I filled both those spots because they're starting to catch on that what I do has merit and it has value. I mean, I got one lady. I mean, because of the time slot and things like that, I don't have anything available for her for 2.5 weeks. She said, "No problem, Kirk. It's worth it. I'm gonna wait." So imagine you're going to delay listing a house because you want to wait on the pictures. That's crazy thinking to me. I mean, it starts to show you how valuable professional photography is, and they're starting to really see it. Well, that creates, once it really gets going, and I only see this problem getting bigger and bigger. It's going to mushroom cloud here in a minute. It's going to get bigger and bigger in that there's going to be a huge demand for what I can do, and I'm just one guy. Now, of course, the logical thing is to train my daughter, for example, to do real estate photography, and then train maybe son-in-law. He could do that in the wintertime, as opposed to his other job that he sits around and does nothing, and in the wintertime. So, I mean, in other words, that would be the logical thing, but I have always gone against the logical thing when it comes to business. So many people, when things were kicking and blowing and going, they were building bigger barns. And around here, what I did was I was paying stuff off. And as a result, now we find ourselves in a time when, professional photography just ain't what it used to be. Hey, I'm still kicking. I'm still around because I have little to no debt. So, I'm not against the idea of training people, but, especially if you can keep them close to you. But the last thing I want to do is bring in another photographer and proceed to train him, her, on how to be my competition. I'm just not interested in that. I personally would rather make it into a little niche where, look, you get Kirk Voclain. You hire Kirk Voclain Photography. You get Kirk Voclain, not somebody else, to photograph that house. Now, of course, what that means, that translates into higher pricing. See, and this is the trade-off. This is the thing that I debate about, and I'd love to talk about, by the way, that's why I bring this up, is that currently the base price is $84. Well, I can tell you, it's already, once the year experiment is up, if it continues, even at the rate it's at now, the base price is going at bare minimum to $89. And there's going to have to be some adjustments because, I mean, it happens. It happened yesterday where people, I'm like, this house, if you just want me to hit the highlights, I'm gonna photograph the kitchen, I'm gonna photograph the living room, I'm gonna photograph the master bedroom, that's it. I'm not photographing nothing else. And they were like, "Oh, well, can't you photograph just these 2 rooms?" And, "Oh, well, they have a dining room and they have another." That's one example. And then they had a house behind the house. Can't you take one picture, just one picture of the house behind the house? Well, just take one picture. Just take one picture. Just take one picture. Change from being 10 shots to being 16 shots. They almost doubled the number of pictures. So this is my solution for that. And I'm just, again, throwing this crazy idea out. for pro forum people. Say, for example, you make an adjustment. The price is now $89. That absolutely includes 12 or fewer images. If you want to bump it up, oh, just take one more picture. It's a $10 surcharge per. Can't you just take one more? Sure. Instead of new price, $89, it's $99. Oh, well, can't you just take one more? Sure. $99, $109. You see? And it starts to get closer and closer and closer to where they say, oh, just do the $150, or maybe new price $159. See where I'm going with this crazy thinking? So that's how you handle, and I'm the reason I'm just voicing this whole thing out is that in business, in the business of professional photography, always we're going to run into scenarios like this where there are problems that are created by the type of photography that you do. I'll use baby photography as an example. The problem is you have to be willing to be patient. Sometimes that baby is just not in the mood, and you got to be patient until that baby is in the mood. Okay? So thus, there's a time issue. So pricing has to be adjusted based upon the issues. So I know if you've gotten this far, almost 7 minutes into this video, if you've gotten this far, I think you're starting to see my mentality when it comes to business. I'm not afraid of problems, but problems have to be addressed with pricing. So think about that when it comes to your issues, your problems, your world of professional photography, that, hey man, it's all about how you connect the dots. And the bottom line is profit. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.